remain standing for the invocation led by the Reverend Tanis Kalisnik, Student Life Academic Advisor. Reverend Kalisnik will be followed by Allison Cox, Indigenous Knowledge Keeper, who will provide a blessing upon this ceremony and the graduates.
Good morning, everyone. Please join me in prayer. Almighty God, known by many names, today we celebrate the accomplishments of those who receive degrees. These graduating students are beginning new chapters in their lives. We ask you to bless them, Creator God. May their studies continue to open minds to new ideas and build in us all a deep respect for one another. We give thanks for this moment, and let success and achievements be celebrated. We give thanks for the University of Winnipeg and the legacy of excellence that continues to grow here. We give thanks for the past, and we ask you to guide us in the present and hold us close in the future. We also ask you to bless all those who have supported these students on their academic journey, in the classroom, their professors, their peers, and at home, their family members and their friends. And now in the next steps forward, we ask for easy transitions to future dreams and opportunities. Hear our collective prayer. Amen.
Pushu. Miigwech, Mishomas, Miigwech, Nokomis, Miigwech, Gitchimanitu. Shawena Nishnam, Yingsham, Minu Bimantizuin. Creator, I ask that you give us all life and that we carry in this life the gifts that you have given us to be able to love one another, to be able to care and share for one another, to be able to walk in the world in a good way with all of the gifts that you have bestowed upon us. I ask you, Creator, for the blessings of the graduates, and that in their future, that they use these gifts to shine light upon the world. I ask you, Creator, for the thank you to all of the ones who have helped them on this journey so far. I ask you, Creator, to bless us from the past to the present and into the future. Ho miigwech.
Thank you. Please be seated. Before we begin, I would like to welcome in our guests who have just arrived. Please be patient as they find their seats. It is now my pleasure to invite forward Dr. Annette Trimby, President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg.
Good morning and welcome to the University of Winnipeg, located on Treaty 1 land in the heart of the Métis Nation. I always begin with a significant acknowledgement to recognize the influence the land we are located on, its history, its present, its peoples, and its relationships must have on everything we do. It is my pleasure to preside over today's ceremony. Mr. Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of the graduating class, families of the graduates, colleagues, and friends of the University of Winnipeg, I have the honor to declare open this 111th Convocation of the University of Winnipeg for the conferring of degrees in graduate programs, science, education, arts, business and economics, and kinesiology. With us today is Blair Yakimowski, MLA for Transcona. Mr. Yakimowski, would you please come forward to address our graduates on behalf of the province of Manitoba?
Good morning. I would like to also begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional treaty of territory of Treaty 1 and the homeland of the Métis Nation. And on behalf of the Honorable Brian Pallister, the Premier of Manitoba, the Honorable Ian Wishart, the Minister of Education and Training, and all my colleagues in the Manitoba Legislature, I am very honored to be with you here today to celebrate the graduates and honored members of the university community. I would like to thank Dr. Trimby, as well as Chancellor Silver, and all of you for welcoming me to this convocation. It is truly an honor to be here back at the University of Winnipeg, where I attended many years ago, and unfortunately I didn't get to the level that you here are at. I congratulate you on that. Dr. Trimby informed me yesterday there is still time for me to get my degree. I am very pleased to honor the graduates from the graduate programs of science, education, arts, business and economics, and kinesiology programs. These fields are critical sectors for the economic and social development of the province. As you begin the next stages of your life, I'm sure you will find opportunities to grow, contribute, and succeed in Manitoba. Your hard work, intellect, and enthusiasm for your field of study have prepared you to take on the next part of your journey. This will present itself to you, whether it be in further learning, a lifelong career, or simply a pause to give back to your world or to your community, or to reflect and take time for yourself and be ready to jump at that opportunity that presents itself to you. I would also like to thank the faculty and the other staff of the University of Winnipeg for their efforts in preparing these talented and skilled individuals for their new careers and future studies. Lastly, to the graduates, I hope you take time to celebrate your achievements with your family and your friends, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations, good luck, and thank you.
Thank you, Blair. We look forward to seeing you someday soon in the one of the rows. We are joined by a number of distinguished platform guests, and I want to introduce them at this time. I would ask that each person stand briefly as I call his or her name, and I would request that you hold your applause until I have finished the introductions. In the fourth row, Rick Martin, Acting Vice President, Academic, Manitoba Institute of Trades and Technology. Dr. Michael Boyce, Vice President, Academic, Booth College. Dr. Meir Seferti, Acting Vice President, Academic and Provost, Brandon University. Dr. Michael McIntyre, University of Winnipeg Fellow. Dr. Jamie Cedro, Acting Director of the Masters in Development Practice Program. Jarita Greyeyes, Director of Community Engagement and Learning. Laura Geringer, President of the University of Winnipeg Students Association. Ruth Dickinson, President of the University of Winnipeg Alumni Association. And in the third row, Dr. Neil Funk-Unruh, Associate Dean of Menno Simons College, Dr. Narumi Taniguchi, Director of Marriage and Family Therapy, John Smythe, Executive Director of Aurora Family Therapy Center, Rob Bend, Dean of the Collegiate, Dr. Jacqueline Romano, University of Winnipeg Faculty Association President, Gabrielle Prefontaine, Dean of Library, Dr. John Anchin, Associate Dean of Education, Dr. Jens Frank, Acting Associate Dean of Science, Dr. Catherine Taylor, Associate Dean of Arts. And in the second row, Colin Russell, our Registrar, Brian Daly, President and CEO, University of Winnipeg Foundation, Laurel Repsky, Vice President, Human Resources, Audit and Sustainability, Mike Emsley, Vice President, Finance and Administration, Dr. Gino DeStasio, Vice President, Research and Innovation, Chris Miniker, Senior Executive Officer, Dr. Mavis Reimer, Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Ken McCluskey, Dean of Education, Dr. Sylvie Albert, Dean of Business and Economics, Dr. Jan Stewart, Acting Dean of the Gupta Faculty of Kinesiology, Dr. Glenn Moulazon, Dean of Arts, Dr. Doug Goltz, Dean of Science, and in the first row, Allison Cox, Indigenous Knowledge Keeper, Reverend Tanis Kalisnik, Student Life Academic Advisor, Dr. Patricia Fitzpatrick, Sustainability Recognition Award recipient, Dr. Narad Rampersad, Erica and Arnold Rogers Award for Excellence in Research and Scholarship recipient, Dr. James Curry, Acting Provost and Vice President Academic, Bob Silver, Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg, Dr. Jack Zipes, Honorary Doctorate of Laws candidate, Dr. Pauline Greenhill, Professor, Women and Gender Studies, Barbara Reed, Clarence Atchison Award for Excellence in Community Service recipient, Andy Sharma, Distinguished Alumni recipient, Dr. John A. Bullman, Chancellor Emeritus, Honorary Degree recipient, and member of the University of Winnipeg Foundation Board, and Blair Yakimowski, MLA for Transcona. This is your 111th Convocation Platform Party. I also want to acknowledge the presence of special guests of the Platform Party, members of our Board of Regents who are seated in the audience. Seated in front of me or serving as marshals are members of our faculty whose wisdom, expertise, and generosity of spirit have contributed so much to the personal growth and academic success of our graduates. We are also joined by many members of our staff, administration, and alumni who are here to share in the celebration and who play essential roles in making this university an extraordinary place to discover, achieve, and belong. I would ask you to join me in acknowledging all of these remarkably gifted and dedicated people. The University of Winnipeg is proud to provide a live webcast of this ceremony for all family and friends who are unable to join us in person today. Welcome to all of those who are viewing the ceremony online. Convocation is a special time in the calendar of the university. It is a time when we come together to honor our grads, bid them farewell, and celebrate their accomplishments. It is also a wonderful occasion to give honors to members of the university faculty, students, and staff who have made significant and worthy contributions to our institution. And it is a time when we award honorary degrees to those who have demonstrated exceptional leadership and unparalleled excellence in their fields, helping to define and shape the principles and values that give meaning to our community. Today we honor Dr. Jack Zipes with an Honorary Doctorate of Laws. An honorary degree is the highest academic status that can be bestowed on any individual. Those who receive an honorary degree demonstrate dedication and excellence in their field of work and have been nominated for consideration of this title. It is now my pleasure to call upon our esteemed Chancellor, Mr. Robert Silver, to confer special honors on Dr. Jack Zipes, who will be introduced by Dr. Pauline Greenhill, Professor in the Women's and Gender Studies Department. Chancellor Jack and Dr. Greenhill, would you please come forward?
Mr. Chancellor. I have the honor to present Jack Zipes to be awarded an Honorary Doctor of Laws. Dr. Zipes is a world-renowned scholar of fairy tale studies and children's literature, a storyteller, and an activist for children's theater. He is a strong contributor to the intellectual life of many communities, including that of faculty and students at the University of Winnipeg. Professor Emeritus at the University of Minnesota, Dr. Zipes is a multilingual scholar whose academic career spans more than 40 years. He has written over 70 books. I believe your program says 69. That is so 2016. He has written over 70 books in English, French, German, and Italian, in addition to numerous essays, and his work has been translated into at least 10 other languages. His impact is far-reaching. He shifted the field of study with his insight that folk tales and fairy tales must be read within the historic, economic, social, and cultural contexts of their production. His influence has been felt by many at UWinnipeg, where the study of folklore and of children's literature have been institutional strengths for decades. Dr. Zipes visited our campus every year from 2011 to 2015. I'm not sure what happened to 2016. Presenting popular public talks, holding teach-ins with students and colleagues, and tirelessly mentoring and supporting the academic journeys of others. Most recently, he generously donated his unique and rich collection of 1,000 fairy tale films to the University of Winnipeg Library. This is the largest data bank of fairy tale films in the world. It cements UWinnipeg as the place to conduct research in this area. By tenaciously championing the humanities and imagination as powerful forces in enabling social justice, Dr. Zipes is an inspiration internationally. Mr. Chancellor, with great respect and admiration, I request that you confer upon Dr. Jack Zipes the degree of Honorary Doctor of Laws.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg, I admit you, Jack Zipes, to the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. You're now Doctor. Thank you. Congratulations. I have to sign to be official.
Okay, thank you. I'll leave this with you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. It's Provost Silver and President Timby. It's an honor to be here. Actually, Winnipeg has become my second home, and if things continue as they are in America, it may be my first home. Whenever I am introduced at a conference or when people ask me for a short biography, they always forget to mention that I have been a storyteller for over 40 years and have written books about storytelling. So if you don't mind, I'd like to begin my talk today with a fairy tale about God and kings. It was written by a remarkable Danish writer by the name of Carl Evald. He published this late in 1921, a few years after World War I, when times were tumultuous. Then, if you don't mind, I'd like to tell you how I became a storyteller, and I hope you won't think me too presumptuous or narcissistic, because I'm doing this because of the times of untruth that you have probably already encountered and will be encountering more and more as you move on from the university. So I'm hoping that my few words today might help you take charge of your lives and help you live in truth. Once upon a time, the people became so sick and tired of their kings that they decided to send some deputies to God to ask for his help against their monarchs. The deputies arrived at the gate of heaven and were allowed to enter heaven in turn. But when the speaker of the group presented their case, God shook his head in surprise and said, "I don't understand one word you've said. I never gave you kings." The entire group began to yell in confusion that the earth was full of kings, all of whom they declared they ruled with God's blessing. "I don't know a thing about this," God responded. "I created you all equal. I made you in my image. Goodbye." So ended the audience with God. But the deputies sat down in front of the gates and shed bitter tears. When God learned about this, he took pity on them and let them enter heaven again. Then he summoned an angel and said, "Get the book in which I listed all the plagues that were to fall upon human beings if they sinned, and check to see whether I wrote anything about kings there." The book was very thick, so the angel needed an entire day to complete his task. In the evening, when he was finished, he reported to the Lord that he had found nothing. So the deputies were led before God, who stated, "I don't know a thing about kings. Goodbye." The poor deputies became so desperate that God took pity on them again. And again he summoned the angel and said to him, "Get the books in which I've recorded everything human beings must suffer for their foolish prayers, so that they might learn that my teachings are wiser than theirs. Check to see whether I wrote anything about kings there." And so the angel did as he was commanded. However, since he had to read 12 thick books, it took him 12 days to finish the work, and he found nothing. So God granted the deputies an audience for the last time and said, "You'll have to return home without fulfilling your mission. There's nothing I can do for you. Kings are your own invention, and if you're sick and tired of them, then you must find your own way to get rid of them." I was never meant to be a storyteller, that is, a conscious and critical storyteller, careful to use words for their most potent effect. Yet somehow I have become one, and I am not alone or unusual. Every living human being is capable of becoming a conscious and critical storyteller. But most never reach this goal. And the reason is clear. We, and especially our children, are bombarded with hundreds of diverting and deceptive messages every day through the mass media, religious and political institutions, schools and colleges, and powerful corporations every day, so that our minds become blurred and we can barely think for ourselves or articulate our needs and wishes. While the bombardment of lives through commercial and political storytelling fosters muddy thinking and conformism to messages that sustain the current socioeconomic systems, it is also storytelling that can paradoxically liberate us to a great degree from constraints that inhibit us from realizing deeply felt wishes and drives. As a child, growing up in a nouveau riche middle-class family in Mount Vernon, New York, all I knew and felt was that I was supposed to become a success no matter what profession I intended to pursue. This was the family message. Secretly, I always wanted to be a writer, the next great American novelist, and that's why I chose to study for a PhD at Columbia University in New York against my father's wishes. He had expected more practicality from me and refused to support me after I made my choice to live the life of a poor man in ivory towers, as he said. Now, I admit I decided to become a university professor not because I wanted to teach, but because I wanted and needed to earn some kind of a living that would allow me to write the great American novel and free myself from my family. I seemed to have had a plan and seemed to know what I was doing. In the fall of 1967, after teaching American literature in Germany for 2 years and accepting a position as assistant professor at the University of New York University, my plan collapsed. Different messages from the civil rights groups, the feminist movement, the anti-Vietnam War movement swamped my mind and challenged everything that I believed about myself, American democracy, and freedom of choice. I remember reading the great Herbert Marcuse's provocative book, The One-Dimensional Man, and realized that I was just that, a one-dimensional man. However, like thousands of other young people at that time, I rebelled against one-dimensional thinking and sought to speak truth to power. Gone were my thoughts to become the next great American novelist, and in the spring of 1970, when 5 students at Kent State University were killed in protest against the Vietnam War, I was chosen by the New York University Strike Committee to join other universities and lead a strike at NYU to stop the killing and the war. I accepted, knowing it would end my career at NYU. In fact, not only did this occur, but I was blacklisted at most American universities. In 1972, however, I was fortunate to find a job in the German department of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and that is where I became aware of professional storytelling and storytelling in general. My research began to be focused on folklore and fairy tales and the impact that these stories had on children and their socialization. In addition, I became involved with a children's theater in Berlin called Grips, which created and performed radical plays for children. One time in 1976, when I went to an elementary school to determine what the students of a class had liked about a play they had seen, I asked several groups of children to reenact scenes from the play, and I was amazed by their recall and ingenuity in recreating the scenes. Then they wrote summaries of the plays and illustrated their stories. By the end of 2 hours, they had touched something magical in my mind. I realized I wanted to become a storyteller, not just for children, but also for myself, and I had a lot to learn. During the next few years, I read numerous books about the art of storytelling, the reception of stories by children, child psychology and socialization, game theory, and improvisational theater. I also began teaching a course on storytelling in the University of Wisconsin Summer College for Kids. Finally, after I read Bruno Bettelheim's book, The Uses of Enchantment, The Meaning and Importance of Fairy Tales in 1976, I became so infuriated by his pedantic and absurd interpretations of how children need and respond to fairy tales that I decided it was time to do my own empirical research to prove how wrong and destructive he was, and in part to discover more about how children reacted to fairy tales. By 1980, I spent a year at an elementary school in Milwaukee working with third grade teacher once a week for 2 hours to test my program of storytelling designed to assist children to become storytellers of their own lives. The focus was to be on children as storytellers. My stories were to animate them to create and think out of the box. During the next 15 years, I continued to develop my ideas and practice of storytelling wherever I went: Canada, England, Ireland, Germany, France, Slovenia, Australia, and many US cities. I tried to demonstrate how my storytelling program would enable children to develop their talents as storytellers, writers, actors, and artists. By 1990, I had moved to Minneapolis to teach at the University of Minnesota, and through a series of fortuitous events and encounters, I was able in 1995 to obtain a large grant from the Open Foundation in New York City to collaborate with the Children's Theater Company of Minneapolis to found a program called Neighborhood Bridges. For the first time in my work as a storyteller, I was able to train actors, that is, teaching artists, to introduce my program into public schools of Minneapolis and St. Paul. The purpose of the program was to build bridges in schools and communities through storytelling to grasp how children can learn from each other and cooperate and foster greater understanding between different groups of people. Late in life, I was learning what it meant to become a conscious and critical storyteller, not by performing to celebrate my own talents and myself, but to animate young children to develop confidence in themselves so that they could tell their own stories, to articulate their needs, wishes, and plans to live a life of their own choosing. Now, it may seem to be somewhat paradoxical to claim that the most meaningful storytelling that I have done and still do, is through abdicating the central role of storytelling and by passing this role on to children and sometimes adults. Yet I've found that telling tales that provoke, animate, assist, or move children to want to tell their own stories and replace mine, or to contend with the general messages that they hear, has enabled me to understand differences among us that spring from the ground like 100 flowers that need to bloom and flourish together through careful cultivation. Moreover, I have had the good fortune to have encountered numerous professional and amateur storytellers in the States, Canada, and in the UK, who have taught me how to improve my program and my particular style and purpose of storytelling. Philosophically speaking, which means honestly speaking, I'm not convinced that we can ever take complete charge of our lives. On the other hand, I am convinced that life is worthless unless we endeavor to assume complete control of our lives. I also believe that it is crucial to any democratic society that children are encouraged to learn to express their thoughts and desires openly through stories and anecdotes that project possibilities for them to fulfill their dreams. Over 200 years ago, William Wordsworth claimed that the child is the father of man. Of course, today, we would say the child is the mother and father of women and men. It is through children and their stories that we learn our failings and qualities, that we learn to take some charge of our lives, even though we are powerless to ward off the intrusions of monsters and dragons. Through story, we learn that we have created these monsters and dragons, and perhaps it is through conscientious and creative storytelling with children that we can learn to undo what we have mistakenly created. The deputies who visited God in Carl Ewald's story will never change things and defeat the tyrannical kings who oppress them unless they take responsibility for creating them. And it is this situation today, especially in America, and not only America, that we must grasp as we endeavor to take charge of our lives. There is a tendency among young people, or people of my generation, among people of my generation, and the generation that came right after mine, to avoid assuming responsibility for the perverse turn in most societies today, in which lies have become truths and truths lies. Many critics have declared that we are living in a period of post-truth in which mendacity has become the norm. Nonsense becomes the governing sense of politicians who basically seek to retain power. Today, mentally deranged people, and this is not only the case in America, but mainly the case in America, have assumed power to declare those people who want to live a truthful life, to live in truth, as dangerous criminals or neurotics who should be incarcerated. To a certain extent, we are all complicit with the present socioeconomic system in which we live, as long as we serve it without questioning it. If we accept and comply with the status quo without exposing the lies on which it is based, the great Czech writer Václav Havel maintains, we live life as a lie. Yet there is a prevailing hope in all people that there can be authentic change for better living circumstances. Living in the truth, speaking the truth, and thinking with the truth can take various and diverse forms for everyone depending on the context. There is no prescription or formula for discovering and feeling the truth. However, one factor remains stable and reflects the moral dimension. Truth relies on contesting the lies and the deception of people in power, whether one lives in a post-totalitarian or post-democratic society. In particular, living in the truth means understanding that there can be no such thing as neutral or benign tolerance in the present form that it takes largely in the United States and elsewhere. It means taking charge of your life and exposing the lies of the post-truth lies and times. It means, in my opinion, taking history seriously and searching for gaps and the misuse of history to learn how they inform the present. That is, we must endeavor to make history usable so that we can become more aware of the unfinished business of people from the past who sought to create greater social justice and equality by living in the truth. What was spoken in behalf of the conflicts of common people, including the young, and buried, must be unburied if we are going to move forward with hope. This, my friends, is the challenge you face, taking charge of your lives with the purpose of realizing hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zipes, for sharing your story about storytelling. And thank you for addressing our graduates in a way that I think offers them some hope and speaks to their ability to drive change. To recognize the dedication of our faculty and staff, every convocation we offer several prestigious awards. We present them at our spring and autumn convocations. Several of these awards were presented at a dinner reception last evening. I would like to call upon Dr. James Curry, Acting Vice President Academic, to come forward and to publicly acknowledge and congratulate the recipients. Dr. Curry.
Thank you, Dr. Trimby. 4 members of our university were recognized for outstanding contributions over the past year. Award recipients, would you please stand as I call your name? Dr. Patricia Fitzpatrick has contributed to environmental, social, and economic sustainability on our campus and within the wider community. Her work over the last 20 years is focused on improving environmental governance for large-scale development in Canada. She has lent her expertise to environmental assessments of Manitoba's hog industry and federally funded research into sustainable mining practices in Canada and Brazil, to name a few projects. A champion for good environmental planning, Trish has acted as an expert witness in many regulatory cases and served as a panelist for the federal government's Environmental Assessment Procedures Review. She has helped increase transparency and public understanding of her field through research, partnerships, creative campaigns, and even a series of fun videos published on YouTube. At Winnipeg, Trish has provided invaluable mentorship and support to undergraduate and graduate students in the geography and environmental studies departments. She does an exemplary job of getting students involved in the community and provides many opportunities for students to participate in sustainability-driven research. Her work in research has helped raise the university's reputation as a leader in sustainability on the provincial, national, and international stage. For her commitment to environmental governance, sustainability, and public participation, the University of Winnipeg is proud to present Dr. Patricia Fitzpatrick with the 2017 Campus Sustainability Recognition Award. Alana Lejoie O'Malley unfortunately can't be in attendance today. There's been an unfortunate event in her family, but we did want to recognize her, so I will tell you about her. She was able to be with us last night. In honor of our golden anniversary this year, Winnipeg is proud to present a special 50th anniversary Sustainability Recognition Award to one of our most dedicated staff members. Alana Lejoie O'Malley is our Senior Advisor for Research and Sustainability and the key champion of Winnipeg's sustainability vision. Her tireless efforts to minimize our campus's overall environmental impact have seen the university cut greenhouse gas emissions by 32% below 1990 levels, even with the addition of 5 new buildings. In the early 2000s, Alana was part of the student group that lobbied Winnipeg to establish a sustainability initiative and set clear greenhouse gas emission reduction targets. Almost a decade later, she is the driving force behind our newest institutional sustainability strategy, which provides concrete and measurable targets for improving environmental, social, and economic sustainability on campus. Alana is a frequent guest speaker on climate action, sustainability planning, and environmental advocacy in classrooms and conferences. When public speaking or participating in dialogues and consultations, Alana never shies away from pushing the envelope and challenging groups to reconsider what is possible. She's firmly committed to clearing the path for young people to speak louder, clearer, and more intelligently about issues that matter to them. For her dedication to making our university a leader in lasting large-scale sustainability, Winnipeg is pleased to recognize Alana Lejoie O'Malley with our special 50th Anniversary Sustainability Recognition Award. I have the pleasure to present Dr. Narad Rampersad, who is being honored with the Erica and Arnold Rogers Award for Excellence in Research and Scholarship. Dr. Rampersad is a knowledgeable and gifted researcher with an exceptional publication record. He has garnered international recognition for the quality of his work and is considered by his referees to be one of the best of his generation. His expertise spans a variety of areas in discrete mathematics, including formal languages, automata theory, descriptional complexity, pattern avoidance, and number theory, but is internationally renowned for his research in combinatorics on words, the study of patterns and sequences over a finite set of symbols. So you might think of DNA or cryptography. He is known for his clever and intricate solutions to hard problems that others have been unable to solve. His postdoctoral fellowship at University of Winnipeg resulted in his jointly resolving the last remaining open cases of a long-standing conjecture in combinatorics on words, known as de Gennes conjecture. The final step to this solution represents one of the most important results in combinatorics on words in the last 25 years. As a young researcher, Dr. Rampersad has already made an impressive mark in his field with 16 conference publications, 56 journal publications, and a chapter for a Cambridge University Press publication. His initial Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council Discovery Grant received $85,000 in funding over 5 years, a significant figure for a first-time applicant in mathematics. He's also received the University of Winnipeg Award of Merit for each of the years from 2011 to 2014. Dr. Rampersad has supervised 7 undergraduate research projects and co-supervised 2 postdoctoral researchers. Each project generated papers, published, or submitted to referee journals, thus demonstrating Rampersad's dedication to the junior researchers under his expert mentorship. For his deep commitment to the Department of Mathematics and Statistics through his stellar research career, teaching and administrative service, the University of Winnipeg is proud to present Dr. Narad Rampersad with the Erica and Arnold Rogers Award for Excellence in Research and Scholarship. I have the pleasure to present Barb Reed, who is being honored with the Clarence Atchison Award for Excellence in Community Service. For countless Winnipeg students, staff, and faculty facing stress, Barb Reed has been a compassionate and calming influence. Since 2014, she has volunteered her time and expertise to offer twice-weekly mindfulness meditation workshops to the Winnipeg community at no cost. Barb has grown the workshop from a small group exercise for her colleagues to a program that has been integrated into courses and wellness initiatives across campus. Barb offers more than just a warm and approachable presence. She's a vital resource to many in the community. Her sessions are an inclusive space where participants feel comfortable sharing personal details. Her empathic nature allows people to feel understood and valued, while her cheerfulness is infectious to those around her. Barb approaches her volunteer activities with professionalism and attention to detail. She's steadfast in her preparation, continuing to hold meetings around logistical issues and bringing the same vibrant energy week after week. She also dedicates herself to improving her craft by pursuing education at home and abroad. Although recently retired, these same qualities are reflected in Barb's performance as the coordinator of adult learning services and prior learning assessment and recognition. In her role, she helped make education accessible and obtainable for adult learners, many of whom were facing strenuous life circumstances. She also organized and taught the study skills workshop, which helped students navigate through the challenges of adjusting to university life. For her promotion of healthy lifestyles, academic excellence, and a safe, reflective environment on campus, the University of Winnipeg honors Barb Reed with the Clarence Atchison Award for Excellence in Community Service. Let's give a round of applause for all our staff and faculty award winners. I'll now invite Dr. Trimby back to the podium to continue with today's graduation ceremonies.
Okay, we have now come to the part that you have really been looking forward to. The Registrar, Mr. Colin Russell, will present the graduates, and our Chancellor, Mr. Robert Silver, will confer the degrees. The parchments will be handed to the graduates by the Dean and Associate Dean of their respective departments. Each graduate will also be presented with a University of Winnipeg alumni pin by Ruth Dickinson, President of the Alumni Association Council, and the President of the University of Winnipeg Student Association, Laura Geringer. This is a rite of passage, an occasion for jubilation for our graduates and for the friends and family who have helped them on their way. So as your graduates walk across the stage, please feel free to express your admiration in anyone in particular as they cross the platform, and feel free to be exuberant, although I do on occasion wonder if the graduates feel a great sense of relief if you kind of overdo it. We'll have a feeling for how the family really feels about their graduates. So Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of Senate, I request you to confer upon these candidates and upon those receiving their degrees in absentia the degree for which they have qualified.
Would the graduates please rise as their degree is called and remain standing while the other degrees are announced? Master of Science. Please stand. Master of Arts. Masters in Development Practice. Master of Marriage and Family Therapy. Master of Arts joint with the University of Manitoba. Master of Public Administration. Bachelor of Science Honors. Bachelor of Science 4-year. Bachelor of Science. Post-Baccalaureate Diploma in Education. Bachelor of Education. Bachelor of Arts Honors. Bachelor of Arts 4-year. Bachelor of Arts. Bachelor of Business Administration 4-year. Bachelor of Business Administration. Bachelor of Arts in Economics. Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. Bachelor of Kinesiology. Bachelor of Physical and Health Education. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I request you to confer upon these candidates and upon those receiving their degrees in absentia the degree for which they have qualified.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg, I admit those present and those receiving certificates and diplomas in absentia to the degrees for which the prescribed studies have been completed with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining.
Please shift your cap tassels to the left. Congratulations, you are now graduates of the University of Winnipeg. Please be seated. Mr. Chancellor, I beg leave to present the graduates for congratulations. Receiving the Master of Science degree, Jia Ji Yu. Saeed Akil Awais. Aditya Bharadwaj. Receiving the Master of Arts degree, Alison Norris. Dunya Kovacevic. Ariel Marie Tetro. Dylan Samuel Jones. Harnoor Kaur Bangu. Crystal Carmela Suzette Flamand. Receiving the Masters in Development Practice, Nana Araba Agieba Assam. Gabriela Carolina Jimenez Pabon. Jasmine Winter. Sarah Jade Wood. Stephen Robert Penner. Receiving the Master of Marriage and Family Therapy, Ryan Blackman. Receiving the Bachelor of Science Honors degree, Jana Nicole Charlo. Receiving the Bachelor of Science four-year degree, Shauna Lynn Colosimo. Melanie Taylor Irvin Despeigne. Jelani Justin Dennis. Erica Dana Ebro Proquez. Hannah Michelle Duke. Tess Marie McDonald.
What did he got his science?
Stephanie Karen Petrick. Anthony Dylan Peasy. Bao Nyen Tran. Janina Lynn Winsky. Receiving the Bachelor of Science degree, Sifu Biri. Brandon Jared Blank. Brianne Chanel Sizowich. Lulu Izuza Emilia Easter. Kendra Rochelle Friesen. Marie Laura Nelita Gerbu. Matthew Sean Hebert. Rachel Catherine Hill. Ethan Daniel Kovacs. Haley Ann Kupiak. Don Joseph Melnick. Catherine Margaret Obirek. Marika Caitlin Shirley Shala. Avikai Jack Stoller. Grace Chidinma Uga. Meng Yao Zhao. Receiving the Post-Baccalaureate Diploma in Education, Christine Grace Erin Dado. Alan Derek Ahau. Kim Blackbird Moore. Jenny Lynn Boy. Kimberly Dawn Boy. Charanjit Singh Dio. Elsie Rufo Dionisio. Sylvia Victoria Evanson. Joseph Yusuf Fofana. Kathleen May Marie Grabau. Joanna Kimberly Grimolfson. Michelle Dawn Marie Hauser. Zenon Ivan Kinesevich. Karen Joan Jopka. Bridget Laura Kosmak. Jody Kulik. Wagi Masood. Adrian Jennifer McElray. Nicole Denise McFerrin. Amanda Maria Lorraine Nault. Serhiy Obraztsov. Leanne Tanis Papineau. Kamaljit Kaur Rai. Kevin Michael Rempel. Kamaljit Kaur Sagi. Christina Elena San. Danielle Louise Savage. Leanne Smith. Brett Lamera Both. Natalie Renee Thompson. Samantha Villanueva. Melissa Sang. Aaron Lowry Thomas. Lindsay Allison Young. Now the recipients of the Bachelor of Education degree, Roxanne Amy Brulé. Effie Darlene Chartrand. Kieran Lorraine Curl. Christopher Lee Eccles. Kimberly Sue Geswin. Christina Dawn Jilks. Jeremy Lee Haynes. Pamela Leah Pompana. And now the recipients of the Bachelor of Arts Honors degree, Sarah Ann Brereton. Dylan Paul Chislund. Sylvia June Duick. Alexander Gawryluk. Dominique Louet. Annie Eva Edwina McBay. Virginia Page Yana. Alina Panchenko. Bronwyn Raina Turnbull Innes. Olivia Rain Ulrich. Kate Lee Willoughby. Now the recipients of the Bachelor of Arts four-year degree, Rosanne Louise Catherine Blais. Shanae Ann Blackier. Catherine Ann Elise Delfosse. Ashley Hayward. Stephen Robert Hodges. Whitney Eileen Patzer. Alexa Joy Potashnik. Taylor Harrington. The recipients of the Bachelor of Arts degree, Arnie J. Alarkin. Storm Allah. Jasmine Alves. Angeline Israel Pobre Antazo. Sonia Beaulieu. Brett Alexander Bertoul. Shalaki Noemi Boatswain. Carlos Joshua Bokia. Jasmine Brar. Nolan Caribou. Kathleen Lindy Corshane. Amanda Ray Dorscheid. Ashley Andrea Durack. Lindsay Ann Fushti. Angela Sam Pagia Garcia. Jordan William Gertenstein. Alexandra Justine Giesbrecht. Justin Andre Gias. Franklin Joseph Lefko Hallis. Alexander Matthias Hedrich. Finn McKager Higgins. Alyssa Kathleen Kent. Dallas Daniel Albert Kognatz. Carly Katerina Kowalchuk. Sadie Phoenix Lavoie. Diana Chidubem Lugas. Lois Jean Grousden. Trev Lalog Manaxa. Lindsay Jean McKenzie. Shkelzen Miskichi. Davide Raffaello Montebruno. Lorraine Shirley Nepitabo. Matthew Justin Nordick. Angela Lalua Desiree Obafasoye. Ashley Barbara Jean Officer. Lindsay Brianne Olver. Flora Annette Paco. Jacqueline Elizabeth Pelland. Michael Allen Rebastillo. Sydney Amber Jolene Sabiston. Vladimir San Jose. Sarah Lynn Schwartz. Jean Lucille Slocum. Aidan Alexander Smith. Samantha Miggy Turple. Roniel Ambao. Andrew Neil Voth. Cody John Alex Watt. Justine Courtney Hutton. Tiang Sheng Wen. Ainsley Marie Willis. Danielle Adrienne Marie Wilson. Terry Lynn Bonnie Wood. Now the recipients of the Bachelor of Business Administration 4-year degree, Brianne Elizabeth Boyd. Chriselle Data Garankong. Vicky Chan. Kyle Gieb. Douglas Edward Halliday. Nukumbu Kawanga. Alexandra Katzen. Christian James Koulas. Ryan Justin Nationalis. Justin Stephen Pollock. Samantha Stebbing. Vanya Tubin. Tristan Vera. Sandeep Singh Sidhu. Now the recipients of the Bachelor of Business Administration degree, Sefala Aladdin Abdelramin. Isan Abu Hamad. Austin William Conrad Addison. Patrick Anthony Barbero. Devin Bartel. Sheila Boisjali. Matthew Derek Copeland. Also receiving the Bachelor of Science, Jeris Jed Almario David. Carol Janine Dirksen. Courtney Ann Fedovich. Justin Daniel Gauthier. Jamie Beth Gooding. Jatinder Pal Singh Grual. Tessa Jacobson. Benitha Kandasamy. Dale Nicholas Lowen. Jobel Macareg. Alexander Wishlow. Paige Anitya West. Elena Bekele Telehun. Ki Sun. Mohammad Sharik. Marvet Anne Simone Sewell. Michael William Cohn Schneider. Ling Tui Pham. Michelle Oshanik. Patrick John McIver. Tatenda Eliezel Marak. Anne Joy Soriando Mandopat. Denise Marie Young. Jiao Zhang. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics, Slamowit Mesegna. Receiving the Bachelor of Science four-year degree in Kinesiology, Satkaran Singh Dhillon. Victoria Charlotte Elizabeth Grattan. Emily Mary Denise Hamill. Zachary John Reed. Deneen Simak. Cole Matthew Vincent. Ashley Manon Buxton. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of autumn 2017.
So thank you, Mr. Chancellor and Colin Russell, and congratulations again to the graduating class. The Chancellor and I really have the best seats in the House because we get to see each and every one of our graduates, your children, your partners, your friends, as they walk towards the stage. And as Colin pronounces their name, usually correctly, right? Did he get everybody right? Mostly right. And their full name, which most of us don't hear all that often except if we're in trouble, but they're not in trouble. So he says their full name, the lovely name that you gave them, and we get to watch them as they walk on stage and hear someone in the crowd, and we get to see their faces. And sometimes it's a huge smile, sometimes it's just their jaws relax, and sometimes they're shaking their heads. So you know which ones were shaking their heads. So it's a real privilege for us to get to see that moment. I would now like to invite Ruth Dickinson, President of the University of Winnipeg Alumni Association, to present the 2017 Distinguished Alumni Award to Andy Sharma. Sarah, Andy, will you please come forward?
It is with great pleasure that I introduce Andy Sharma. As a policy analyst with the Government of Manitoba's Indigenous and Northern Relations Healthy Foods Initiative, Andy Sharma is internationally recognized for her forward-thinking research into social enterprise, poverty, and world food systems. She has published the results of her research in a number of public and scholarly journals and has been invited to present her work in several international venues across the United States, Barbados, and Switzerland. Andy obtained a 4-year honors level Bachelor of Commerce degree in 2010 from the University of Manitoba and a Master's of Public Administration jointly from the University of Manitoba and the University of Winnipeg in 2013. She is currently working towards her pilot's license, supported by an Amelia Earhart Scholarship established by the Manitoba chapter of the Canadian 99s International Association of Women Pilots, which reflects her deep commitment to providing food supplies to Northern Indigenous communities in remote locations. This year, Andy will serve as the 2017 Ambassador for Social Protection by the United Nations Development Program. As a Winnipeg Food Council member, she advises the City of Winnipeg's Mayor and Council on food system-related issues across Manitoba. Having immigrated from Barbados to Canada in 1997, Andy is dedicated to supporting communities of immigrant and refugee women in Canada in her role as the president of the Immigrant Women's Association of Manitoba. A highly driven and successful young professional in her chosen field, Andy is a visionary whose ambition, industrious and hardworking nature, and passion for social enterprise has already made an indelible impact on the city of Winnipeg, the province of Manitoba, and the international community. The University of Winnipeg Alumni Association is very proud to recognize Andy Sharma with the Distinguished Alumni Award. Dear graduates, today solidifies the dedication and hard work you committed yourselves to throughout your educational journey. I would like to congratulate each one of you on your accomplishments and welcome you to the University of Winnipeg Alumni Association. The University of Winnipeg is a community that recognizes every student's potential, promotes diversity, ingenuity, cultivates new leaders and leadership, and is innovative in research. As you celebrate, especially during the university's 50th anniversary, take a moment to reflect upon your own academic achievements, your personal growth, and contributions at this institution you called home for the past few years. Your connection to the University of Winnipeg does not end today, but evolves into a lifelong extension of the friendships made, the knowledge gained, and the memories created. Moving forward, I wish you much success. Follow your dreams. Inspire those around you, and never forget that the University of Winnipeg is your home, your alma mater. On behalf of the University of Winnipeg Alumni Association, congratulations to the class of 2017.
On an occasion such as this, we thought it was important to hear from the students. And so I'd like to invite the Spring 2017 valedictorian, Annie McBay, to the platform. And as she makes her way here, I will tell you a little bit about her. Annie is graduating from a 4-year honors degree program in religion and culture with an impressive academic and research track record. She has consistently produced high-quality research papers while maintaining a strong grade point average. Annie has also worked as a research assistant to Dr. Carlos Colorado and the Center for the Liberal Arts and Secular Society. She assisted with the production of a documentary on religion, secularism, and public life in Canada. In her work for Dr. Colorado, she helped conduct interviews with a number of prominent leaders, including Senator Murray Sinclair. Her confidence and poise in these settings was impressive. She was an effective ambassador for the project and for UWinnipeg. Last year, she wrote an exceptionally creative and insightful research paper that skillfully highlighted the intersection of popular culture and medieval Islamic philosophy. It was accepted to the American Academy of Religion Upper Midwest Regional Conference in Minneapolis. Another paper she wrote, Women of the Wall, a religious campaign inspired by secular values, was published last year in the journal Crossings. These are significant academic accomplishments. Annie also values service to the community. She has often volunteered at UWinnipeg and served on the Axworthy Lecture Series Committee for several years, which can involve intensive workloads. She also volunteers at the Fort White Alive Farm and previously volunteered for the Rainbow Resource Center, a nonprofit that provides support for LGBTQ communities in Manitoba. Annie's goal is to pursue a master's degree and a career with a community-based organization. I am honored to present our valedictorian, Annie McBay.
Thank you, Dr. Trimby. I would like to start today by acknowledging that we are here today on Treaty 1 territory in the heart of the homeland of the Métis Nation. President Trimby, Chancellor Silver, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, thank you for having me here today, and congratulations to the class of 2017. It's really nice to be back at UW. I have actually been out of classes for some time now. I finished taking classes in April and was actually on track to graduate in June, but I forgot to apply for graduation. So that's why I'm here today and not in June. But I'm very happy and excited to be here today, and I have a lot of people to thank, but I know that it's getting late and we're all hungry and tired, so I'm going to keep it pretty short. I want to thank my mother and my grandmother, my partner Eric, and my teachers Lawrence Broadhurst, Heather Patrick, Dr. Jane Barter, Dr. Rory Dixon, and especially Dr. Carlos Colorado for all your mentorship over the years. I'm so honored to speak today on behalf of this group. As a religion and culture student, I will be speaking primarily about my time studying the liberal arts, but I'm sure that all the graduates from all the faculties will be able to relate to the experience of UW being an exceptionally nurturing environment for all of us as students. Like many liberal arts students, I always dreaded the question, what are you going to do with your degree? Unlike some of my friends who knew that they wanted to be doctors or teachers or lawyers, I had no specific profession waiting for me when I graduated. I didn't know what I wanted to do or even what I could do with my degree. And I desperately wanted an answer because I was so tired of telling people that I actually wasn't studying to be a nun or a preacher. Essentially, I felt pressured by myself and by others to determine exactly how I was going to translate this degree into a career. During these times, it was the support and the reassurance of my teachers that helped me immensely. They assured me that, regardless of the path I took, a liberal arts degree would provide me with a variety of skills to draw upon. They recognized the value of education for its own sake, and they encouraged me to continue studying that which interested me over and above that which might seem more practical or profitable. I found that, over time, studying religion helped me to empathize with marginalized groups and to be aware of and question hegemonic power structures. Most importantly, this degree opened my mind to my own biases and made me think twice about how and why I think the way that I do. Public intellectual and professor Dr. Cornel West once said, "Institutions of higher learning are not to be simply sites where young people acquire high-level skills for professional careers, but also a training ground for citizenship." I feel this reflects what I've learned here. University is not just a means of preparing for a career. It is about learning to think critically, ask questions, and respond appropriately to those with whom we might not understand or agree. As I reflect on my time here, I'm so happy that I chose this program and that I chose UW. I realize now all the opportunities that this program and this school have afforded me. But I wasn't always so sure, and I often wondered if I'd be better off studying something else. In those times, I needed the encouragement of others, those who saw the value of education for its own sake. So graduates, as we move forward with our shiny new degrees, let's be sure that we celebrate our educations. Let's be sure that we show others that university not only makes us knowledgeable, but also makes us better citizens. Let us go forward with curious and open minds, striving to improve our communities and our relationships, and let's encourage others to do the same. I feel confident that we have all been given the tools we need here to succeed in life. I'm so excited to see what we will do, and congratulations.
I couldn't help but notice proud Carlos Colorado in the front row, so Well done, Annie. On behalf of the University of Winnipeg, I'd like to congratulate everyone who we've celebrated this morning. Congratulations to all our staff, faculty, and award winners. Congratulations to our honorary degree recipient, Jack Sipes, and congratulations to all of you. I want to thank you for choosing to study at the University of Winnipeg and for sharing your gifts with us in this important stage in your life and education. I echo Annie. I know that the knowledge and skills that you've learned here, both inside and outside the classroom, and I want to thank all those faculty members who work extra hard to find opportunities for you outside the classroom, have prepared you well for all that you will encounter in work and in life. And I know that you will be forces of positive change. We talk about the need for change a lot these days, and we often conjure up this vision of a hero, a powerful figure with the capacity to solve every issue. But we know if you confine the definition to such a narrow parameter, it's hard to see yourself being that force of change. And the reality is, true impact is far more nuanced and comes in many different forms. There are many different types of heroes. The Federation for Humanities and Social Scientists recently shared a framework to categorize impact in a number of key areas, including academia, policy, culture, society, and the economy. As you look around the room today at your fellow graduates, your professors, and the award winners we've honored, you'll see many examples of different types of impact. I think of someone like our honorary degree recipient, Jack Sipes. He shared his story about his parents not necessarily understanding his choice. And I'm sure early days, Annie, you think you had it hard explaining you didn't want to be a nun. Just imagine how he had to explain that, you know, he was a fairy tale storyteller, a guy who liked to study fairy tales. I'm sure he raised a few eyebrows, but as you listen to his story, I'm sure many of you are still thinking deeply about what he had to say and the importance of story and children and making sense of the world. At our university, we encourage our students to be well-rounded in all subjects. Breadth is important, but we also need people who have really deep knowledge, who get into subject, who get into areas that other people might not realize are important. So today, as you leave, you're probably wondering, what's my niche? What's my niche going to be? And I'm sure there are things you really love, and you're not sure what to do with those things, or you might discover your passion later in life. Take Barbara Reed, our Clarence Atchison Award winner. She became a meditation instructor within our community towards the end of her career. Both of our Sustainability Award winners, Trish and Alana, I have a feeling they had this deep passion for the environment before they even started school. And I'm sure there's a parent or two involved that helped you find that passion. Trish uses her knowledge to change laws, to intervene in public review processes so that positive changes are made. And Alana uses her knowledge on campus, in our city and elsewhere, and she really holds us to a high standard. Both have incredible depth of knowledge, and both are committed to making an impact by working with others, because melding ideas and perspectives is really the secret to creativity. Combining things that were previously thought to be unrelated is how new ideas emerge. Ideas like those from Dr. Narad Ramprasad, who's doing fundamental research on math. And one of the things he shared with us last night is a lot of people don't understand you can do research on math. But the research he does has phenomenal impact, not impact that we can necessarily understand or see immediately. But talking to people about what you really care about and listening to what they have to say as well is how we make progress. It's difficult, if not impossible, to make an impact by yourself. So a few people have said this today. Never stop pursuing your curiosities. I promise you, if you are passionate about something and you commit to it, people will listen and want to engage you in discussion. Nurture your imagination and let it guide you. It's a powerful tool that sometimes we forget how to use, but remember how you used it as a child. It's okay to go deep into what you love. It's part of what makes you you, part of what makes you special, and it will be part of what helps you define your future. So we can't wait to see where your imagination will take you. I would like to wrap up, and before doing so, acknowledge that everything you've accomplished so far would not have been possible without your friends and relatives, many of whom are with us today. To those friends and family members, it's okay to be a little anxious about what the future holds for these graduates. A life devoted to fairy tales may seem like an unconventional career choice, but I think he's a happy guy. Maybe your child is into comic books or sustainability or number theory or simply being present in the moment. Each new generation opens up new ideas, new technologies, new careers, and new perspectives on familiar ones. It is important to trust these discoveries even when we don't understand them. To the new graduates, be patient with your friends, family, and colleagues. If they don't see things exactly the way you do, try to understand their point of view. So as a show of thanks for those who have supported you so far, I'd like to invite the new graduates of the University of Winnipeg to turn in whichever direction they prefer and join with members of the university community in expressing appreciation for this support. Before we adjourn, I also want to express our thanks to Chief Marshal Dr. Mark Vachon and the faculty marshals who make sure when you're in line that when you walk across the stage, your shoulders are squared and your hat's on properly. And this matters, trust me, when you look at your pictures down the road. I want to thank our Chief Usher, Lynn Jones, and those members of staff who have volunteered as ushers. Organist Erwin Kitch, who graciously stepped into cover for our usual organist, Barry Anderson, who is unfortunately ill today. Barry has played the organ for our ceremonies for the last 59 years, and you will notice an archival photo of him playing in today's program. Members of the Winnipeg Police Pipe Band, sign language interpreters Tessa Rogowski and Jennifer Horvath, our registrar Colin Russell, the many members of staff who have helped to organize this event, Allison Cox, and Tanis, who graciously opened our ceremony, and Allison for drumming, and I know she made a special effort to get here today, and I really appreciate that. And again, on behalf of all of us, the faculty of the University of Winnipeg, for placing students first and for embodying the pursuit of excellence to which we are all committed. I want to especially thank our distinguished Chancellor, Mr. Bob Silver, for being such a wonderful supporter of the university. And finally, our thanks to the graduates for making us so proud, and for the guests for joining us on this marvelous occasion. We wish you the best in the next part of your life adventure and do hope that you keep in touch. Following this ceremony, you are invited to a reception in honor of our graduates in Riddell Hall. Students will be led by the pipers to the room, and you can meet your students there. I would request that after the singing of the honor song and our national anthem, you remain in your places until the academic procession and the platform party have retired. Family and friends are asked to remain in the gym until all of the students have exited. Please rise for an honor song by Allison Cox, followed by the national anthem, led by our registrar, Mr. Colin Russell.